This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Thank you. I just sat down. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm sick right now. Please don't click off. We can still have fun together. You know, I friggin' love my job. Mostly I love the fact that it's not a real job. Like, I just think it's so funny that a lot of my friends, they have to wake up early in the morning and then go to a building for like 8 hours and they can't leave until that 8 hours is done, and then they come home and have to do it again. Gross! No, but in all seriousness, I do think it's very cool that I get to do this. It's fun, it's flexible, I get to have an idea and then put it out into the world, and it does genuinely make me laugh, and I've been able to build a small community of people who also find this funny. It's very enjoyable. I'm very glad to be in this position. Side note, because I don't know when else I'll be able to complain about this, I don't know what to tell people I do for a living. Because, like, I don't want to brag and just, like, hog the conversation, like, what do you do? I'm a YouTuber. Like, I don't want that. Every time somebody asks, and then I just give a vague answer like, oh, I'm in video production. If they're under the age of 40, they immediately have follow-up questions. So like one time at a party, I was trying to be funny and somebody asked, oh, what do you do for a living? And I responded, I yell on the internet for money. And they stared at me because they were confused. And besides just being a source of income, love it or hate it, social media content creators and influencers, they're a part of culture now. And they show an interesting side of the human experience that's not quite captured as well in other forms of media. Like, it's not always Shakespeare, but there are genuinely interesting people doing interesting things on this site and other sites that you can't find anywhere else other than in the social media age and atmosphere. But what happens when a group of people look at that and all they can see is free real estate and dollar signs? You get reaction channels where they're not actually reacting to anything, but you also get a lot of AI trying to ruin the world of human content creation. This is my bread and butter, alright? This is all I've got. You can't replace me. Okay, just move to the next thing. So YouTube Studio has this new section under content called Inspiration that I didn't notice until like 2 days ago. If I understand it correctly, it's an AI generated tool that's supposed to look at who your audience is and what they watch and what videos you've put out and which ones have done well, mix all that information together, and supposed to give you new ideas for new videos you could do. On the surface, that actually sounds like it could be pretty good, but no, it's bad and it doesn't work. Okay, so look at this. This is what I'm seeing when I first open it. These are terrible ideas. Okay, this top one right there. With every view this video gets... this is just a video I've already made. They just put, but better at the end. That's not anything. Very high interest. From who? I don't get how anybody would find this helpful to any degree. First and foremost, half of the ideas are just, hey, you remember that video you made that did kind of well? You want to just do it again, but worse? That combined with a title and thumbnail that would make children sad in a way they can't yet understand. Even its best ideas are very confusing. I don't understand what the end goal of this is. Like, all it does is it tries to break down what it thinks the formula of a video essay is and try and like puzzle piece it back together into a new thing. It doesn't really work like that. Okay, take this idea that it had of TikTok music versus Spotify. Now, for a second, just a second, I was thinking, okay, that's kind of interesting. I did have in my mind the idea of comparing different music streaming services. How does the way we listen to music today influence the way we look at the art? And how does it compare to how we listened to music 50 years ago? And what are the drawbacks and what are the upsides? And then I thought for literally one more second, this idea makes no sense. No, mine was good. The computers made no sense. TikTok music, that's not a streaming service. That's just like a vague concept. That's an adjective to describe music that is on other streaming services. But the computer based the whole idea on a service that does not exist. Like, the outline it came up with was about comparing pricing models and how you get to listen to different artists on the thing. It doesn't work. It's not real. So where did it get the idea from? It was just, again, a poor amalgamation of, I'm pretty sure, 2 videos that I've already done. Would you take time out of your day to watch a video about any of these topics or with any of these thumbnails? I would hope not. Do you know how embarrassing it is at my young age to be tricked by AI thumbnails? It doesn't happen often, but when it happens at all, I'm floored and I feel 75. Anytime I hear people talking about AI videos, unless they're selling it or they themselves are making it, the discussion is never good. Nobody prefers this. Why Why do we keep trying to make it happen? As it stands right now, AI can't actually make and create anything. The best it can do is just remix. But it's shown even better and entirely AI generated videos. Now, I was watching some of those videos in preparation for this one, and I remember writing down, quote, "This is so repetitive and devoid of use. It barely has any purpose other than being a cash grab. It's the most blatant cash grab there can possibly be. There's no argument that it could be anything else. Even the laziest movie studio that constantly is pumping out sequels and remakes, they can make some sort of argument saying like, we just want to keep the story alive and introduce it to a new generation of children. I feel like they use something like that line every time. Or when Mr. Beast or the 1,000 guys copying him, or women can copy Mr. Beast too, at least you can say they have a passion for making content. Maybe not the specific content themselves, but they are on it with those numbers. They want the highest retention. They want to get as many views as possible. They have a skill for the business of creation, if nothing else. Almost from like a scientific and technical perspective, I can kind of get where they're going. But for AI channels, there is no other motivation than money. They just want to be able to press a button and immediately have a source of passive income. That's it. If it were possible where you didn't even have to watch it, you didn't care what topic it spit out, they would push the button and get it out. It doesn't matter. There is no other reason than money. You're treating creation as nothing more than a soulless commodity, and that's exactly what you get as a result. It's just a weird remix, melting pot amalgamation of a bunch of nonsense that you've taken from a bunch of other people doing the exact same thing. Truly, so one of the videos I watched in making this, there was like a 15-second clip that hit like 5 cliches in a row. It was almost impressive.
I've never shared this before.
Yep, this is never before seen.
I'll walk you through the entire uploading process, plus some algorithm tricks that almost nobody is talking about.
Nobody talks about this, only you.
Stick around until the end.
Stick to the end.
By analyzing Mr. Beast's shorts.
Mentions Mr. Beast at least once.
And no, this isn't one of those wait till the end retention techniques that all these YouTubers use on you.
Yes, it is. You can't just say that it's not and then proceed to do. Yes, it is. Before we get into that, I have to dedicate the next 45 seconds to this company real quick. Give me a second. Hi. I'm in a different location with a different shirt. I may be sick with a common cold, but you know what else I'm sick of? Not having the website of my dreams. But thanks to Squarespace, making a website couldn't be easier. With professionally designed award-winning website templates for any business, occasion, special event, or why not just for the fun of it? I won't tell anyone. Its intuitive drag and drop features can make anybody a pro at making the website of their dreams. And after you've set your website up, you can use Squarespace's built-in analytical tools to review web traffic and track revenue. Truly the all-in-one of your dreams. So head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/DavidAndJew to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. And now back to the video. Thank you, Squarespace. All of this begs the question, what's this even for at a certain point? Like, this is supposed to be your side hustle or hopefully your main hustle, right? So you have more time to relax and do other things. Okay, yes. But you want more time to relax from one of the most fun and sought after jobs there is? Like, am I saying that I enjoy every part of whatever work this is equally all the time forever? No, but I'm lying on a bed right now. I can't complain too much. And it really is something I truly enjoy. I'll spend hours and hours and hours working on a video just for like a 5-minute joke that honestly probably wasn't even super necessary, but I enjoyed it, so I'll do it because it's just fun. Like, I would never hate this job so much I would want to automate every part of it. Definitely not. Like, if I was forced to work a 9-to-5 starting tomorrow, one of the things I would do in my spare time just for a passion project would probably be to make videos. Maybe not like this specifically, but just other videos because I enjoy doing this. This is supposed to be enjoyable. Why are you trying to fast forward through it and make a robot do it instead? Another reason I don't get why anybody would think AI would be good for something like this is because videos like these need human touch. Like, people put this stuff on to relax, and there's nothing relaxing or comforting about an AI voice spouting out cliches for 20 minutes. You know what is comforting? A girl sitting in her car talking about why friendship breakups hurt. Or a guy cooking dinner talking about why he dropped out of college. Or a different girl in a different car talking about why being delusional is sometimes a good thing. It's not. She's continuing to be delusional. Because all of those things and more are human experience. It's what we relate to. It's what we're drawn to. And in addition, if we're zooming out and looking at all of media and art, I guess, it's not just about the end product. It's about all the work that led to that end product as well. Like, the making of documentaries can be just as interesting as the film they're talking about itself, because there is so much story and so much passion that goes into creating a film. You can apply that to getting just the right photo or making the perfect portrait or anything really. The difficulty of making it is partially what makes it so impressive. So if you just pushed a button and then it poofed into existence, it doesn't have that extra value. It just exists. I think a perfect example of this is the Studio Ghibli. Somebody's gonna execute me for not saying that right. I'm just gonna call it that. The Studio Ghibli AI art, that thing. Because I'm just gonna say it, it looks cute. It looks very cute. It is very cute. And if you're sitting there thinking, no, it's awful, I hate it. Well, just look at it again. It's kinda cute. If you don't agree, you're lying, and deep down, you know you're lying. But the reason I'm not supposed to like it, or why people on the internet don't like it, is not because of what it is, because again, it is cute. It's about the background of how that image came to be, or the lack of background. There was no thought, no passion, no skill, no human touch. It's just a machine. Actually, I'll add to that. It's a machine copying somebody who did have human touch and skill and passion and all of that. Like, if these pictures were all from like 10 years ago and they were all hand-drawn, then I don't think it would be much of a problem. I think most people would agree that these pictures are nice. But because they have the background that they do, people don't like them. It's the process and the difficulty that makes something artistic in the first place. However, to what degree should advancing technology be a part of art and media production? Because as we've clearly seen, 100% machine and 0% human is not the move. We know that. As much as we'd want it to be, it also can't 100% be human and 0% machine. When you imagine me researching these videos, do you think I'm going to libraries and cracking books open like it's a mid-2000s study montage? Or like I'm opening old scrolls, you know, like the scrolls that you have to blow on once and then it like pushes all the dust on. And there's never any caked on dust that you have to awkwardly scratch off with your fingernail. It's just all like loose dust that comes off with one blow. You think I'm doing that? No, I'm not. I'm hunched over Googling articles on that laptop. And I don't know anything about Google's algorithm, but I have to assume that it's using some sort of artificial intelligence to boost things to the top. So in that respect, I am using advanced technology to determine what sources I'm writing things off of. And in addition to that, there are a lot of other AI tools that would make this a lot easier. Like AI text-to-speech apps would make it really easy for me to read articles faster and on the go. And if that YouTube feature from the beginning that we talked about was 10,000 times better, maybe I could use it for an idea or two. And if there was some AI tool that could reliably be used for like researching purposes, I would really use that. Like if it could make it faster or more in depth than I personally could, that would be really useful, because I don't know if you know this, I don't know everything. I made the post of people to give me ideas of what to talk about while I'm sick. I just give me a light and breezy idea, something I could do off the top of my head, you know, nothing too crazy, just something for casual conversation. I did not receive that. Someone said I should do one on how the 1980s Mario movie revolutionized visual effects in movies thereafter. Someone else said I should do the history of cereal. Someone else, the history of card and board games, which honestly, those are good ideas. I might steal those for later. And then more than one person asked me to talk about the falling birth rates of South Korea. No! Do you think I just know about that? I don't. I have to read about it, and that takes me a little while. And frankly, I think any tools that would be useful in speeding up the process would be nice. But again, everything we've talked about so far, they're tools. They're things that aid in the creation process, but don't take part in it themselves. Kind of like how, in a very basic sense, pencil and paper, yeah, they helped me write the essay, but I wrote the essay. But what if an AI started to give me like decent title and thumbnail ideas, and it also gave me a good basic outline of a script? Then that would be more like the pencil saying, oh, I've got a few ideas for the essay. You mind if I pitch in? Like, in that scenario, at what point is it a lack of creativity on my part? Because if you think about it, replace the machine with a different person. They'd be doing the exact same thing. What's the difference between getting help from another person and getting help from the computer. So there's this service called Spotter Studio that I keep getting ads for that I think is exactly this. Now, I've never used it, but from what it's advertised as, it seems to be exactly that. Let me be your assistant. Let me give you ideas. Let me help you come up with thumbnails. Let me speed up your production. So on the one hand, I did think, well, I mean, this is essentially the job of another person, just a machine doing it. So, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily too bad. But also, on the other hand, I was looking at the different clientele that they have and like the testimonials they have on their site. Now, okay, not to be rude, but I feel like this kind of service is mainly for people who make videos for the sake of making videos. Does that make sense? Like, the reason this service works for them is that it seems that their videos are so generic and so open-ended that they can be boiled down to an algorithm that can kind of spew ideas out. Like, for example, if my whole thing is just football, yeah, I feel like anybody could come up with 1,000 ideas around football. But if your entire thing was Garfield comics, I think only you know how you could make that work. Do you get what I'm going with this? I'm not necessarily saying that this is bad. These are the type of videos you would see when you have a completely new YouTube account and they have no idea what to recommend to you, so they just recommend the least common denominator. Those are those videos. Like, okay, Mr. Beast, again, take any of his videos. Do I think a computer could come up with another 10 ideas just like his? Sure, but if I were to ask a computer to come up with ideas for me, do you think they would have recommended I make 20 to 30 minute videos talking about the Vine boom or the use of emojis? No, because analytically, that probably makes no sense. Why would a computer think that's a useful topic that people would click on? Nobody should think that, really. Those videos should not be lucrative or successful, but because I had a genuine idea that I really liked and I thought it was funny and entertaining and I had a passion for it, I made it anyway, and they did kind of okay. But okay, yes, the computers can never take away the human heart and passion and love for the game, and go humans, all that, but the numbers that they're reporting on this site are kind of enticing, I will not lie. I mean, we're talking multiple times performance just from using their service and supposedly speeding up production in the process. That's interesting to me, I can't lie. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm not completely sold on this. This is just an idea, but let me know what you think. I was thinking of using this service for like 2 out of the next 10 videos I make, maybe. And I mean, I would use it from start to finish. It would give me the idea, it would give me the thumbnail, it would help me during the process. Every single feature they use, I would do my best to implement it in those videos. But I wouldn't say which 2 out of the 10 were using Spotter. So you as the audience would have to assume, did a computer come up with this idea or did I come up with it? And what would the performance difference be between the 8 and the 2 of the 10 video period? So I'll let you know if I genuinely want to do it. I might do it. I just want to see what it can do. In the end, while content creation may not be the most serious job there is, it is a uniquely human one. And I would like it to stay that way. Like, there's no need to turn it into a soulless cash grab. It's not that hard. Just talk about what you like to do, and people will probably watch it if you're good. Not everybody needs to be good at this. It's okay. Some people are just better at like finance, and that's fine. I don't know how to end this video.